Wilbur, and this is Orville, the Wright brothers. This is Scott Kreider from Sunnyvale, California, coming to you live from Dayton, Ohio, at the convergence of all the bike paths and rivers in downtown Dayton, Ohio. Welcome to the OhioRAAM Show.
Well, thank you, Scott, for that introduction. That is my son, my youngest son, who lives in Sunnyvale, California, where he is a marathon runner, trail runner. He's always out there running, does a little bit of cycling, and also quite a little bit of mountain climbing. Thanks, Scott. And my name is Lee Kreider. I'm the producer of the OhioRAAM Show, and this is show number 188. And we are sponsored by the Race Across America time stations 41 in Oxford, Ohio, and 42 in Blanchester, Ohio. These are staffed time stations that are open 24 hours a day while the race is passing by. It's a great place to come and see the race. Each time station is located right next to the McDonald's restaurant. We have their 24-hour food, 24-hour fuel, and 24-hour fans, and if you come by at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the morning, there'll be someone there. Now this year, the race starts in Oceanside, California on the 12th of June. The solo riders, the team riders, start on the 16th of June. And that means here in Ohio, the team riders are catching up with the solo riders. So we have a lot of action over a relatively short period of time. And we will open our time stations here on June the 19th. They will stay open through June the 23rd or whenever the last racer passes by. And if you look at the links section of the OhioRAAMShow.com webpage, you'll find in the links section a link there that will give you some estimates as to when riders will be passing at time stations near you. And as we get closer to the race, there will be links there that give you very specific information as to how to follow a rider, particularly their GPS location. Be sure to check the show notes. There will be links there to learn more about the guests that we have on each show. There will be a link there as how you can follow us on Facebook, the OhioRAAM Show Facebook page. And also, there's a link there to Calvin's Challenge race over here in Springfield. You have about 1 day to register for that race. On today's show, we're going to go to South Carolina and visit Ann Moore. She was in a 4-person mixed team for the Race Across America in 2017, had a serious accident, wasn't able to be a part of that race. But this year, she is back. She is going to ride in the Race Across the West in 2018. Maria?
Hey, Ann, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, to start, I am a mother of 2 teenagers and a wife. And I began my endurance career. I was a competitive swimmer, and then I did triathlon. And then slowly over the last 5 years, I've kind of moved into ultracycling. Last year, 2017, I put together a 4-person RAM team, a mixed team, myself and 3 of my male friends here in South Carolina. 2 weeks before RAM, I was involved in a very serious bicycle crash, which ended up putting me in the hospital, and I had to have 2 emergency surgeries, and obviously that took me out of RAM as a rider because I had spent so much time putting the team together. So I went as a crew member, even though I was in just terrible pain, and I knew it was going to be really hard, but I had to go. It was great. I mean, I learned a ton. And when we finished, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back next year and I'm going to do Race Across the West solo, and I'm going to finish what I started.
Very, very interesting. So you went as part of the crew for that team that supposed to be riding with.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm assuming they had somebody else write it for you.
So yeah, what they did was, because we were sponsored by Bike Law, one of the Bike Law attorneys is a good friend of ours, and he just messaged me and said, I'm willing to take over. So Timmy did RAM on absolutely no training. I mean, it was crazy.
You were still the only girl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say, I mean, my competitive side was like, I cannot be replaced by another girl. I just can't watch this happen.
That your first experience as a part of a crew?
It was. I mean, and I'll tell you, this was, now that we've done it and we learned, I mean, our entire crew was rookies. I mean, everybody on our team was rookies. So wow. It was a mess at first, I'll tell you. I mean, we learned a lot in just the first 2 days. It was like we'd all been thrown to the wolves. We learned so much that we're going back in with the whole clean slate of how to do it. So we're looking forward to it. I mean, I'm going to say I just want to finish, but that's not true.
Tell us a little bit about Sebring. I heard that you went to Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was my first time doing Sebring also. And actually it was my first time doing a 24-hour road race. I've done a lot of gravel endurance races, Dirty Kansas 200 and things of that nature, but I'd never done a, 24-hour road race before. So my husband, who's going to be my crew chief and one of the guys that raced RAM last year, is going to be a crew member for me. And so they went down with me and we kind of just simulated what we thought was going to happen. And kind of like if you had asked me before Sebring if I had a goal in mind, I would have said yes, but I'm not going to tell you. But ultimately, I just wanted to get the 370 in that would qualify me for solo RAM, even though, that's not where I'm going with this right now. But I ended up getting 394.9 in.
Wow.
And actually, frustratingly, when I came across that lap, I looked at the clock and I was doing the math in my head, and I was like, oh, I think if I go really hard, I can squeeze one more lap in. and I came across the line at 24:00:18.
Oh my God!
So it didn't count for them, but it counted in my heart.
That's a great mileage. I mean, that's phenomenal. I'm so glad I didn't go.
Yeah.
You're probably in my age group. Who knows? Yeah. You would take my boat. So, I love your enthusiasm. I mean, anytime I come across women that are in endurance cycling and I see them as enthusiastic as you are, it blows my mind away. So I'm really excited about that. I know you're writing for a cause or a charity. Would you care to talk about that?
Sure. So I am writing for a charity called Cycle for Survival. And it's actually a fundraising side of Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, which is in New York City. Mm-hmm. And what all of the money raised through Cycle for Survival is research and development of treatments and cures for rare cancers. But these are the underfunded cancers that there's just not enough money. They don't have the regular fundraising avenues that some of the larger cancers have. And the reason I chose that is my mom was diagnosed 8 years ago with something called neuroendocrine carcinoma, which obviously most people have never heard of. And she lives here in Charleston, South Carolina. So she travels back and forth to New York City for her treatment. So I really wanted to do my part for the last 45 years. So I really wanted to, give back in a way that I could. And this is delighted to do it. The RAM team that, obviously I was part of last year, we raised $18,000 for them last year. So I'm really hoping to get that up this year with my raw efforts.
Lee, anything else?
As always, we'll have show notes and we'll have links there to the charity as well as some other things. Do I understand you have a coaching business of some kind? You want to tell us about that?
Yes, I am an endurance coach. My degree is actually in exercise physiology and biomedical sciences. I actually coach athletes all over the country. Most of them are triathletes, but I do have some ultra cyclists and some ultra runners and marathoners. And believe it or not, even though I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, I once coached a cross-country skier. Don't ask me how he found me. A lot of my clients are first-time triathletes, moms who are trying to get into a sport and have a goal, and they want to, do something for themselves. Actually doing it full time for about 10 years now.
After the accident, how long it took you to fully recover?
I'm not 100% recovered. The bone break itself plated it and screwed it and all of that, so it's stationary. But the rotator cuff is the thing that really it's hard to recover from that. So I still can't lift my arm much past this. But I went through a dark time of oh, poor me, I can't believe this is happening to me. I finally just had to get over myself, and I think going on the journey with the guys really helped with that. Finally just was like, I got to just suck it up. What are you going to do? I can't think of anything else that I would want to do.
Are those cupcakes back there your creation?
Yes, they are.
I'm more interested in those cupcakes.
Oh, yeah. We have an eclectic decor in our house. Yeah, and those are beer growlers up there, so you can see cupcakes and beer.
And thank you so very much for joining us today at the OhioRAAM Show. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ann, for spending time with us. We wish you well on the race across the West in 2018. And as always, we want to thank Maria Vasquez for doing a wonderful job of hosting the show for us again. And we want to thank you, the audience who watched the show. You mean a lot to us. When we hear one of you say, I always watch your show, that does us a lot of good, makes us feel like we're doing something worthwhile here. And we thank you who always support us on social media. Some of you are so faithful in doing that. That helps spread the word of ultra cycling, and that's what we're all about here. Our next show will be on May the 7th, and we're going to go back to England once again and visit with Team New Forest, a 4-person male team who will be riding in the Race Across America 2018. So, goodbye, Maria.
Goodbye, Lee. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you in about 10 days.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.